Hey, folks, and welcome to a brand new series. Today, we are starting our series on 30XX, as I mentioned in our last video for Shattered. In case you don't know what 30XX, it is a sequel to 20XX, a roguelite heavily inspired by Mega Man X games. And Mega Man X series is one of my absolute favorite series of all time, with Mega Man X4 being my favorite 2D action game ever made. This game is currently in early access, and judging by the developer's track record, I am very confident that they will make it to release rather. And currently, it has 6 out of 8 areas. So even if you're worried about, you know, whether the game will make it out or not, it already has a lot of content. So we will start the run by... Actually, before we do, let's check out the settings. The resolution, it can support 4K. Currently, I am running at 4K. It can also support 8K in case you have the monitor for it. I do not, so we will stay on 4K. I like to play my games in borderless window, so this is the setting that I have chosen. The graphics quality can either be high or less high. We will keep it on high. I've already gone ahead and adjusted the music as well as the sound volume because they are glaringly loud. I have also adjusted the controls to my own likings. You can use the D-pad as well as the left analog stick to move. I have my primary attack as RT, my jump as A, Power 1 as Y, Power 2 as B, Power 3 as LB, Dash as LT, and Activate Thing as RB. There's accept, back, and pause, as well as several settings down there. You can also hide the damage number in case you don't want too much clutter. You can hide a lot of things, a lot of info. The screen shake intensity was at 50%. I went ahead and adjusted it to be at 0% because I am not a fan of that. There are many advanced options in here, but I will trust the developers to choose the right ones for me. So once you start the run, you are controlling this guy. His name is Ace. And in case you played Mega Man X, then you will know that in most games, you can play as either X or Zero. X being a ranged character, Zero being a melee character. And Ace is Zero, or the equivalent of Zero, while Mina, who I assume we will be unlocking later on, is the equivalent of X. The controls are fairly simple, and they are very, very tight. One of the main strengths of the first game was how well it controlled. It is also the strength of the Mega Man series. In case you are interested in the Mega Man X series, there is Mega Man X Collection 1 as well as Collection 2 on Steam. Collection 2, not the best one. I believe the series started going downhill with 5. There she is, long time no see. Let's get you out of there. I really should have figured out how to open this first. Oh, hey, just, cleaning up a bit. Janitor stuff, you know? Oh, this in sequence. The coward shows his face. I will enjoy this. Bro. But time is not that right, I suppose. Very well. Trust in the sequence.
Thought he'd never leave. Let's do this. It's up to you now. We're coming, Ellie.
Oh, and this is Nina. I'm awake. Guess that means I've got work to do. Well, not much sense worrying about it now. Let's get me out of here and go from there. Awesome. So Nina is... She controls very close to X. And her attack is a buster. It's a range attack. And if you hold the RT, which is the attack button, if you hold it, you charge. And once you charge, you got this. Whoa. You got this large attack. You can also jump on walls by pressing the jump and the direction of the wall. And one thing I want to mention is that 20XX, while it was an absolutely fantastic game, the graphics just did not hold up. Not well at all. And for this game, I believe they got a fairly high profile artist to do the art for them, and it looks great. I am very happy with the way it looks right now. It seems that there are many switches. So, possibly the only weakness, the only negative point about 20XX has already been addressed. And if you're worried about the replayability of this game, don't be. Because this game has two modes. Oh, speak of the devil. It has two modes. It has the standard mode as well as the mega mode. The standard mode is your typical roguelite mode, where once you die, you go back to the beginning of the game, and the entire level is restructured, and everything you have is basically gone, except for very select power-ups that you keep from one run to the next. The mega mode, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure how they do it, but I think they generate a level once. And once it's been generated, it's set as that until you beat it. So what we will do is that we will go through the game on Mega Mode first. Once we're familiar with the combat, once we're familiar with the enemies and their patterns, we will do the standard mode. And I will go ahead and save it here. This is our hub. There's nothing on the left, and as you can see, there are 8 bosses, 6 of which are currently available. There's Echo Beast, the level is called Echo Wave, and I believe the difficulty is normal. There is Zen Primus, which we just saw. The difficulty is normal, and the level is called Burning Temple. There is Hoot Omega. The difficulty is bold, and the level is called High Vault. There is Absolution and Penumbra. There is Lethal Tempo and Clock Zone. And as you can see, we cannot make it to the 3rd level, so what we need to do is go all the way here and wall jump to it. And the last one is Legacy, Defiant level, and it's in the Deep Verse, with again 2 more levels coming on the way. There is a little cat here, and you can pan the camera with the right stick, and you can pet the cat. That's awesome. So fortunately, I did play the game a little bit just to test things out, and I believe it kept the power-ups that I picked up. But what happens is that once you pick up a power-up, it's here, and you actually need to pay scrap, which is the game's currency, to actually unlock it and use it. You can also play the game completely by co-op, and it sounds fun. As well as, these are some of the power-ups I've already unlocked. Don't worry, you haven't missed much. There's the Scatter Blast, and this one is the one you start with. It is the N Buster as opposed to the X Buster. Speed Juicer, you just move a little bit faster. Band of Might, you do a little bit more damage. Preto Battery, you get 2 extra energy. enemies drop more armor, and the healthier we are, the more damage we do. Again, you didn't miss much. What I did is that I went through the first level just to test things out and make sure that the recording is going well. But anyway, we will go through the first level again, so you will see what happens exactly. And I will disable this one just to show you how you would go through the level the first time. And another thing I will mention is that what I'll be doing for this series is that I'll go through the level once, and once I get to the boss, because the bosses can be a bit difficult and you would need to rerun the level multiple times to actually kill them. Once I get to the boss, I will stop the recording and only record the boss attempts and only include the successful one. And obviously, once I do it, I probably won't be talking much through it. So once I do record it, I'll probably record my just after. I'll record my voice after killing the boss and recording the successful attempt, and just make a little guide on how we're supposed to do it. Messing up. The level should not be as difficult as I'm making it out to be. Some things I did notice. On Mega Mode at least, the enemies that drop... Oh, those were spikes. The enemies that drop health packs are always the same. So it would be a good strategy to only kill those enemies. And obviously only if you're missing health. But we're not worried about doing speed runs and min-maxing yet. Again, the Mega Mode is supposed to be an easier mode. There's a chest over here. I've already opened it, so I won't get the reward from it. The only chests that give the same reward on every run, I've noticed, are the ones that contain the health packs. And those are after some bosses. Speaking of the devil, this is the first boss. Fairly simple, there are two enemies. The game telegraphs where they will be. So really all you need to do is make sure that you're not in the way of their projectiles. Oops. I already failed with that. And you need to destroy both of them. Once you destroy them, you get not just scrap, but you also get an item that you can use, and it is that big cube, a Memoria. You can use the Memoria to unlock permanent bonuses such as increase in HP, increase in energy, and so on. As you can see, these are the chests that I mentioned. For this level, I've already opened them, but don't fret. This is the only level that I've tried. For the next levels, you will be with me from the beginning. And the reason I didn't include my first recording is because I noticed I was recording in 1080p, not in 4K. I did delete my file, thinking I would start from the beginning, but it seems that deleting the file simply deletes the run, I think. Of course, because the game is a 2D platformer, expect a lot of tricky platforms. These bats also drop armor. And the way armor functions is that it's basically extra hit points that get depleted before the health points. Which can be a bit annoying when you're not full on armor, for example, and you get health, or yeah, you get health points. So you're effectively missing out on health. And because the game is a roguelite, health is a very important resource that you need to manage. So this is one of the first tricky parts in the game. Once you get to this statue, you can contemplate, and what it will do is that it will give you 1 extra HP, but it will also spawn a bunch of enemies in an arena-like combat. And once you clear them, you can progress. I've noticed that killing the ones at the top first, if you can, help quite a bit. Because those guys that throw the purple crystals, they can throw it really, really far. The enemy positioning is also random, so sometimes you can get a bit unlucky with them. But this, in my opinion, is the hardest part of the level, besides the boss, of course. And oh, okay. Once we get to the boss, I will show you the very first attempt, which I'm probably going to fail. I have not been able to kill the boss yet. It's fairly tough. And that is why I will not be showing everyone, because once you fail a boss, you have to redo the entire level. There is no continue system. And I did mention the dash when I was going through the key bindings of the controls, and the dash jump is a very, very important functionality, because when you're just jumping, you barely cover any distance. When you're dash jumping, you cover so much more distance, and it is absolutely necessary in this game. And one thing that this game does, or mimics very well from the Mega Man X games, is the flow of movement. The flow of movement is absolutely fantastic. It just feels good to move around the level. And by this time, I had already gotten the Scatter Blast. The Scatter Blast is strong. It does more damage, I believe, for close range targets. It is, however, very short range. And for this boss, hopefully we will be abusing that and try to do some damage when we're close. And this is Echo Beast, the Slumbering Sentry. And the Slumbering Sentry will always start the fight by shooting 2 of those things, and you need to keep them in mind the entire fight. And besides that, he will also spawn multiple spires. And this is how we abuse this, basically. Is that once we are close to him, we just spam the regular attack without charging. And once he becomes yellow, what he'll do is that he'll charge from one side of the arena to the next. So you need to be ready. And once he becomes low enough, he will spawn 2 more of these, because that's one. Oh, and we actually killed him. Awesome. So we don't have to redo the entire level. And once you kill a boss, you also get a potential. Used to unlock your hidden potential at HQ. And once we go back to HQ, I will show you where to spend those. But for now, we also get Crystal Wave. Freezes enemies in their tracks. Jump on them. And we can assign it to either Y, B, or LB. Let's go ahead and assign it to Y. We also get 3 Memoria. So you definitely get a lot from killing a boss. And this takes us back to HQ, I believe. Yep. One thing to notice is that you can increase the difficulty as well as you can grow strong. And when you go to grow strong, this is where you use the potential as well as the Memoria. As you can see, we have 6 Memoria and 1 potential. The potential can be used to buy Salvager Circuit. Unlock salvaging augments, can be salvaged for nuts or other resources. Well, the closest thing to it that we can afford is very, very far, and it's locked away, and it costs 5. So let's go ahead and spend our 1 potential here, as well as increase our HP by 1 rank. Once we're comfortable enough with the game, we might increase the difficulty, but definitely not now. You can also come here to buy the upgrades that you've picked up. Actually, I'm probably wrong. Okay, so you do start with these 3. You start with these 3, and we unlock these later on. So I actually did start a new game from scratch in this video. Anyway, so the powers, we can move faster. We can have +4 energy. Our damage can go up with the more HP we have. This is a fantastic upgrade. When we charge an attack, we can just remove enemy shots and drop more armor. What I'll do is that I'll save for this, because this sounds great. And what we'll do is that we'll go row by row, because I believe that's how difficulty goes. So we're gonna go this way, and then we're gonna go to lethal tempo, finally to absolution, and then finally at the very top. So next up is Zen Primus at the Burning Temple. Heads up, I'm probably gonna die in this level because this is my first time doing it. And I'm sure a lot of enemies we are not very familiar with. And what I'll do is that once we die, I'll probably call it for now. Because with 30XX, I don't plan to have hour-long videos anymore. I think it's enough to just show the level once. And maybe the first attempt through the level. And the second, or not the second time, the first attempt that we get to the boss through it. Oh no. So the first attempt through the level, the first time we get to the boss, the first attempt on the boss, subsequently. Oh, come on. And then the kill on the boss. What? Oh, that's fire. Okay, that is... Ooh. Okay. That was terrible for me. Alright. And this is where the difference between Mega Mode and Standard Mode becomes clear. In the Mega Mode, we are still done with the Echo Beast. In the Standard Mode, we would have to redo it, I believe. I haven't done it yet. And one thing to notice is that you can't switch to Ace, I think, through here. I don't know why the option is not here. Do wonder how we can switch to Ace. Maybe once you start a level or a game, you're locked to one of them. Either way, I am happy with Nina because when I played Mega Man X, I enjoyed playing X more than Zero just because of the range. It makes things a bit easier, so we are playing, I guess, on an easier difficulty. But anyway, next time we will be going through Zen Primus, or the Burning Temple, and we will be doing at least, hopefully, our first attempt on Zen Primus, and possibly even kill him. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey folks, and thank you for watching. As of the time I am recording this, I have already finished my first Mega Run. And I'll be honest with you, I had a blast playing through this game. What I did notice upon starting a new game is that the way the levels are seeded is that when you start a new save file, everything is seeded and then you are stuck with that setup until you basically start a new file or just finish the game. So what we will be doing next is that we will go through every level as if it's the first level that you've started your run with, and ignore any upgrades to make sure that no matter what happens, you're completely set and know what you need to do. After that, I plan on creating some guides on this game, basically going through the game systems, how RNG works, etc. The basic mechanics of the game, the techniques that is, the enemies, the level design, the bosses, and so on. Anyway, I am very excited to continue this series because I really enjoyed this game. And once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.